Hey everyone, Staci Wallace here with Warrior DNA training tonight. I'm excited because it is Sunday, live at 5, and every single week, I absolutely love the fact that I'm taking time to jump into your world, your business, and be able to do something that I believe is just a value add to your life. Thank you guys so much for all of the posts and the private messages. And last week, you guys shared that video a lot, and it helped a lot of people I've never connected to, private messaging me, and really getting some life change as well as business development. I want to do this today. If you are watching now, remember last week I said I was going to give something away. Denise has pulled a name out of that list from last week, and so today we're going to be giving away, everyone that comments, we're going to pull a name. We're going to make sure that we're giving away some free value to you guys. And so Denise, drum roll please, who is our winner from last week? Now these are the people that commented last week or shared. She randomly pulled a name, put it into a system. Who did you pull?
Deborah Longworth.
Deborah Longworth. Awesome. So Deborah, we will be connecting with you. Denise, pull me a copy of the It's Possible CD training. It's a training that I'm going to give you. Many of you might have heard just a couple of days ago I was out in Las Vegas, and ended up being there with in our business meeting. There were a bunch of people that showed up, but a couple that stayed afterwards were she was the cousin of Kanye West. He was a former rapper, still raps, actually does a lot of rapping in schools and prisons and things like that. But he was also the bodyguard for Snoop Dogg. And so they came and hung out in our penthouse suite there, and we had a good time. And I did this little song called It's Possible. Now, believe it or not, that's a song I wrote years ago. So I'm going to give this to Deborah. Deborah, it's not only you're going to get the song, but you're going to get a full training that goes with it that's going to speak into you about living your best life. So we'll make sure we reach out to you on Facebook. We'll get your information and we'll send that to you. So that's going to be a CD training that you're going to get absolutely free. Denise, can you pull me one of those? That would be great. I can show Deborah what she's going to be getting. We're going to do the same thing this week. Actually, we're going to be giving away value-added tools and resources to you guys every week on Warrior DNA. People are always asking me, Staci, why are you doing this? Why do you keep just giving this? People are offering this stuff for thousands and thousands of dollars, and they're doing seminars and charging us thousands and thousands of dollars for this same stuff. And the reason is because I believe that right now I'm in a season of extravagant generosity. Oh, perfect. Thank you. It's Possible by Staci Wallace. Anything is possible when you believe. Have you ever faced a challenge that seemed impossible to escape? Well, if you've ever been tempted to give up, history has proven that success comes to individuals willing to believe in their dreams, pay the price for success, and be determined to never give up. Now, this tells some incredible stories of extraordinary people ordinary people who've done extraordinary things. The song itself talks about Michael Jordan and, the impossibility of walking on the moon and things like that. So anyhow, you're going to enjoy that, Deborah. That's my gift to you. Tonight, we are actually going to be talking about 3 keys to overcoming objections. Now, a few weeks ago, I'd asked you guys to private message me or post there in the feed any topics that you're wanting me to cover so that we can tap into the almost 30 years now of experience I've had in being a top leader in the direct sales industry as a corporate leader, senior vice president of numerous businesses, and having a passion for sales and marketing and making sure that people know how to use social media strategies, online strategies, and offline strategies to promote their business, their brand, their ministry, and to be able to do the most good. Well, one of the requests that came in is, Staci, can you help us with overcoming objections? So here's what we're going to do. Hey, 1010, I see you guys are coming in here. 1010, Kelvin, awesome. Hey, from the UK, love that you're joining us. Dee Dee, happy birthday, DDK. I know it was your birthday last week. I saw some celebrations popping through. We're excited to celebrate you. Sheila Kelsey, we're excited that you guys are here tonight, and I'm going to continue to communicate to you guys as we go. Post any questions that you've got on this topic, and we'll make sure that we try to get them answered here in this next 10, 15 minutes that we're going to go together. So 3 keys to overcoming objections. Now, I wrote a complete blog on this that you can go to staciwallace.com/blog and get this in detail. You can take notes while I'm talking, but you can also use the blog. And here's how I encourage you to use it. Share this with your friends, Or if you're with another company and you're kind of averse to sharing other people's information, which I don't recommend. I recommend you sharing as much as possible. People know we're all in different businesses. But here's the key. Use this to train your team this week. I promise you there are people who are struggling in this area of getting objections, not really knowing what to do, avoiding no's. You guys know the incredible book, what is it? Go for No, I think is a phenomenal book for everybody to read. But what we're going to talk about tonight is just a simple strategy you can use to avoid or overcome objections. Now watch this. First thing you want is, number one, is certainty. Now again, I cover this whole thing in the blog, so I'm going to give a lot more detail there, but staciwallace.com/blog. But certainty. What is certainty? Well, first off, sales. Anytime you're selling an idea, a widget, a product, a service, a concept, a religion, anytime you're trying to get someone else to buy your product or buy into your belief system, guess what? You're asking them to change. You're asking them to change their weight. You're asking them to change their skincare routine. You're asking them to change their mobile service plan. You're asking them to switch services from maybe one carrier to another. Whatever it is, you're asking people to change. If you're in ministry or life coaching, you're actually asking them to change their root behaviors. Believe it or not, as sales leaders, as entrepreneurs, we are agents of change. Sounds great, doesn't it? Sounds like a great title. I'm an agent of change. But with being an agent of change also means that you're going to come against brick walls or objections. You're going to come against people that look at you, smile at you, and say, okay, awesome, yes, and then they don't do anything. You're going to come with people that actually look at your product and go, nah, I'm not interested, it costs too much money. Well, what is the first key to overcoming objections? The first key, number one, is you've got to have a certainty that outweighs their uncertainty about your product or service. You've got to believe in what you're selling. You've got to believe in what you believe in. You've got to have a passion and a hunger for what you're doing so that when somebody does offer you objections like, you know what, I can't afford it, or I don't have enough time, or, you know, I have something similar and I'm actually very happy with it. Those are real objections. Those, in that person's mind, they really are adverse, or they're not wanting to make a change. So what do? Well, what you don't want to do is go, okay, that's what you don't want to do. Instead, you want to be knowledgeable about your product. You want to be knowledgeable about your company. You want to be knowledgeable about your services. And you want to be able to flow with an absolute certainty. Why is that certainty important? Because people can read a phony a mile away. They can tell if you're trying to sell them a bill of goods. They can tell if you're trying to just push product on them so you can hit a quota. Instead, you've got to have a certainty that what you're doing is not about you, because no one cares what you're making out of the deal. What they care about is WIFM. What's in it for me? So you want to make sure that your certainty is so solid in a knowledgeable understanding that you don't come across as pitching a script, right? That you're trying to sell something. Nobody wants to be sold anything. However, if you're studying the people that are best of the best in your industry, best of the best in your business, if you're investing in personal growth and development and weighing that mechanism out with how it relates to your business, then guess what? Your certainty is going to go through the roof. And here's why. In a minute, I'm going to show you how you can overcome any objection with certainty, the right questions, and agreement. Okay? So number two, let's look at, what does that mean? Listening. Well, the reason why certainty is important, because you are absolutely confident that you've got the best deal, the best business, the best opportunity, the best services. And when you know that, you don't have to force it on people. You know, I'm a black belt in karate. I don't practice anymore, so I probably wouldn't be as certain to fight 5 black belts, which is what I had to do in order to get my last degree. I wouldn't want to do that, right now, because I'm not practiced. But it was amazing, as I was studying martial arts, I became more and more and more confident in the fact that I could take someone out with one punch. I could literally, I didn't have to be afraid walking down the street. In fact, I was telling my buddies, don't worry, I got your back. If we walk down the street, I got us handled. Now, that can create an egotistical over-certainty if ego is applied to that. Or it creates a peace in your come across. See, the more professional, or let's just say the better you are, let's take martial arts, for example. The more you know how strong you are, the less you have to prove it. The more certain you are that you could take someone out with one punch, the less you're looking to fight anybody. And it's the same thing when you get very, very certain about your company. You're no longer trying to sell them from a position of weakness. You're actually just having a conversation, building relationships from a position of strength, which leads us to number 2, listening. I think we've all heard that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Well, I believe there's a natural, supernatural correlation for everything. And here's the natural, supernatural correlation to the fact that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Is that the greatest way for you to create relationships, which breeds trust, which allows for relationships and you to be able to build your business. The best way to do that is not by telling people what you've got. It's by listening to what they need, right? So number 2 is listen. Ask leading questions. Now, this last week with my team, and you guys might want to do this with your teams, I sat down and I showed precisely how people can ask leading questions. As a life coach for well over 25 years, I was able to tell them, here's some leading questions we use in life coaching in order to help people. You don't want people to feel sold. You want them to come to the understanding that they need to make a change. Right? So when we sit down in a coaching manner, let's say we got a husband and wife and they've got issues. The last thing I want to do is tell them what to do. What I want to do is ask leading questions so they come up with a solution that is theirs, a sense of ownership. And that's what you want to happen with a prospect or a customer, that you're asking the leading questions like, what do you want that you don't currently have? Why don't you have it? What's been more important to you than getting it? And as you ask these very simple questions, they will lead you to what they want, which will avoid objections, right? Because they're telling you what they want instead of you selling your wares. Now, as you listen, here's the third and biggest thing you need to know in overcoming objections. When a real objection does happen, what you want to do is you don't want to push them with more information. What happens is, I don't know if you guys have kids, but I've got teenagers now. And I have found that as loving, God-fearing, and precious as my kids are, and you see all those pretty posts on Facebook where the kids are happy and they're winning awards, there are those moments, which I would love to document one day on Facebook, when we're getting the worst of them is being displayed. But despite the worst being displayed, I still see the best in them. And I know that at that moment they might have been emotionally hijacked, but I have the opportunity, because I am a master sales and marketing leader, and you should be too, I'm going to shift the emotion of the room. And the way I shift the emotion of the room is not by coming at them with more information, because they're going to resist. It's not by being stronger than them or smarter than them. It's by agreeing with them. Now you may say, so, whoa, Staci, how do you agree with them when they're wrong? How do you agree with somebody who's opposing your business or opposing your product or telling you it's too much? Well, here's what you want to do. And I'm going to give you an example. My son this week was having a challenge. I don't even remember what the topic was, but him and his dad were not seeing eye to eye. And I immediately said to my husband, honey, I understand what you're looking for from Peyton is a very clear plan for how he's raising money for his Guatemala trip. It's a missions trip. And he hadn't written the plan down, so he's kind of scattered in his time and all of that. Well, a little bit later, Peyton looked at me and said, Mom, why do you always agree with him? And I said, Peyton, as you get older, you'll understand that when a room is in a place of conflict or there's objections to your idea, the best thing, in fact, there's a scripture that says, agree with your adversary quickly. Now, your dad's not your enemy, and neither is your customer or the people that you're talking to. But a strategy, a psychological moment that you can shift is agreeing with their objection. And here's how you do that as it relates to sales. Is a very simple, timeless strategy I was taught in 1988. Now, this is when I first got involved in direct sales. I was selling water filters at the time. There was a guy named Jeff Roberti. Right now, that company evolved into another company called Juice Plus. He's still with that company. And I learned back in that day a strategy called Feel, Felt, Found. And I added my own little piece to it, so it's been Staci-avised. Now, feel, felt, found, now. Certainty, listen, agreement. How do you have agreement when somebody opposes your idea or says, you know what, I just can't afford it. It's too much money. Well, you know, Lisa, I know how you feel. In fact, I used to feel the same way. I felt the same way when I was a stay-at-home mom. And I didn't have even the money really to pay for my kids' missions trips or to, you know, take them where I wanted to go. But I found a way that I could earn extra income simply out of my home from my cell phone. And now I am earning a massive income that allows me to live the life of my dream. But it all started with being able to make that first decision. Let's just say she opposes the price of your product. I can't really afford it right now. You know, I know how you feel. I felt the same way because I was always used to buying products at Walmart and just putting them on my face. But I found that the amount of product that I was using for the result I was looking for, I was actually paying more by buying those products as opposed to this one. And now I'm able to have great skin, great energy, whatever it happens to be. Feel, felt, found, now. I know how you feel. I felt the same way till I found and now. Now, what is the and now? That's the part I've added on because now it leads you to your story. Well, what if you haven't had success in your business yet? What if you haven't had success with your products? Let's just say in my business, I'm always looking to help people save money on their essential services. So let's say somebody comes and I let them know I can help you get free mobile service. Let's take a look. What carrier are you using? They say, I'm using T-Mobile. Awesome. We've got a number of unlimited data plans on T-Mobile. Take a look. And let's say they say, you know what? I don't know. I'm comfortable where I'm at. I don't mind paying an extra $50 a month. I like my plan because it's got the amount of data. What do I say? You know what, Lisa, I know how you feel. I felt the same way because I was with AT&T for 20 years before I made this shift. But when I found out that I could actually get free mobile service, and that was adding $127 a month back into my budget, that's $127. That was over $1,000 a year back into my budget. When I found out that I was actually able to feed kids with every single month, every single bill paid, I realized that there was a better way and there was really no reason why I was paying T-Mobile directly. And now, not only do I get free mobile service, but I actually get paid from that same cell phone. See, you can take anything, whether it's nutrition, skincare, services, feel, felt, found. And what are you doing with this process is you are agreeing with the objection. You're not coming at it and going, well, you don't understand. Let me tell you more. No, I know how you feel. I felt the same way until I found my company, which, you know, it took me a couple of years, but now I'm living the life of my dreams and I'm able to do the things that I never thought would be possible. Feel, felt, found, now. I hope this helps you guys. I want to tell you something. Next week, I am going to be starting on April 2nd a whole new training that's going to blow your mind. It's a training that I've done for many, many, many years called Let's Go Fishing. And this is a training that you guys know my passion for fishing. I'm going to show you social marketing strategies, online marketing strategies, how to know who you're talking to, how to know what to do in different types of social platforms, and how I was able to build a network of over 250,000 people in 3.5 years. Only 12 of those people came from my warm market. Everyone else was socially acquired. I'm going to show you how I did that, and I'm going to give you very, very clear strategies. So the month of April, you want to make sure you're not only tuning into Warrior DNA every Sunday live at 5, but I'm also going to be giving some major giveaways during that month, and I'm going to provide you with weekly videos that you can share with your team that are going to give you an opportunity to build online. Now see, I do both online and offline marketing, and what I love is that both are powerful. The most powerful is offline marketing, but what does somebody do when they feel like they've run out of warm market leads? I'm going to show you how to have endless leads, literally unlimited leads that you don't have to buy. That's what a lot of people think. I got to buy leads. I'm going to show you that you don't have to buy leads, and I'm going to show you how to do it starting next week, April 12th. So let me just pop in here and see. Hey, Cynthia, Barry, love you. Denise, Sherilyn, shout out, girl. 50 gigabytes on Sprint. She says, I know, that's a crazy good deal there. Lisa and John Milton, awesome. Love you guys. I can see that, hey, Donna Wirch is watching. Lute's playing us. Girl, you are crushing it out there in your business in Mexico. I love that. Brian Graham, you have got probably one of the greatest smiles I've ever seen. Angela, love you guys. Let me see here. If there's any questions that we've got. Awesome. Hey, Alejandra. Girl, you just got started this week, and I'm excited about that. We need to connect, and shout out to Puerto Vallarta. I love me some Puerto Vallarta and the School of Champions down there, what you guys are doing with all those kids. It touches my heart, and educating them, feeding them, telling them about the love of Jesus. It's wonderful. So we're excited, guys. Have a great week. I'm going to be back here live at 5 Sunday of next week. Make sure you share this. Again, we're going to go through those shares. Congratulations to Deborah for winning It's Possible this week. I'm going to be sending that out to you. And he's telling me to look more. My very handsome, what am I missing? Alvin. Oh, hey, Alvin. You want to say hey to Alvin? Alvin! And Byron and Donna. Okay, I'm not going to be able to read all those. Y'all tap in there, say hey, and I'll be commenting back. Sometimes it takes me a little bit, but I always comment. Those are comments coming directly from me. So if you guys have questions and you want them answered, post them there. I'll reach back out to you. If they're private, go ahead and private message me, and I'll be happy to respond to those as well, here to help you out. So remember, now is the time. This is the place. You are the one to help us make life better for many. Like it, share it. We'll see you next week.